everybody. Local Sports Edition. I'm your host, Coach Tripp, along with my buddy, co-host, Coach Mark Hobley.
Peace.
Hobbs, we here, and this is brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Thanks for watching the show. We got a special guest, Coach Bryan Lewallyn. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
And Bryan, Coach Lewallyn's athletic director and head baseball coach at Pensacola State College. Pirate play news this week. All right, let's start out with in-season stuff, Coach. Basketball season, the men are cruising along pretty good. It's a good 12-3 start for Coach Penna. But that's a brutal it's a brutal conference. The women's even worse. Talk about his start for Coach Penna and the players.
Yeah, they're off to a really nice start. They always play a really tough non-conference schedule to prepare for the grind of the Panhandle Conference, and this year's not any different. I think all 5 of our teams are ranked in the top 25 in the country. We hosted a Thanksgiving tournament that I think 8 out of the 10 teams or 9 out of the 10 were in the top 25 in the country. It's a phenomenal tournament. It's catching national attention and just an incredible tournament. So the fellas are off to a nice start, and hopefully enjoying a little bit of a break here at Christmas time and get ready to rock and roll in January.
Yeah, they don't start up to the 30th. Hobbs got a question for you.
Coach, you were talking about that Thanksgiving tournament there. Did you get a chance to see Trinity play? And were those guys, as long as they looked like, I think they had a couple 6'11s? Yeah,
honestly, I think everybody on their roster was about 8 feet. I'm a relatively big guy. I'm about 6'4", 6'5", and I was walking around in the lobby when they were in there, and I felt like a little shooting guard or something, next to all those guys. But yeah, they're big and physical, and really, really good ball club.
Man, they only lost 3 games. Two of them were close, but that one, who was it? Saginaw Valley. Who was that? Who was that powerhouse that beat them by 20? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Was that in the tournament?
No, that wasn't. I don't think that was in our tournament. Because I if I remember correctly, they went 3-0. Maybe beat Northwest Florida in a good game, and maybe Gulf Coast or Daytona.
Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona.
Yeah. Really good tournament. I got to watch a lot of it. Didn't see every game, but got to watch a lot of it, and really, I think it's good as junior college basketball gets until you get to the national tournament out in Hutchinson, Kansas. So,
wow, there are a lot of D1 coaches at the tournament watching players.
There were. I think if I remember correctly, I talked to our ticket taker at the gate, and I think she said they had at least 25 coaches sign in on the sheet when they came in. So it was a heavily attended, recruited tournament.
All right,
Coach, how is NIL and transfer portal affecting junior college baseball, basketball? How is it affecting it?
It's a little different for everybody. We do not operate in the NIL world, at least to this point. But I've heard where other junior college programs are starting to offer NIL money. The things that have become interesting are it used to be that junior college you went to play so that you could potentially transfer to a Division I school. Well, now with the transfer portal, anybody can transfer at any time. So, say you go to South Alabama as a freshman, you're not playing. You could transfer to UWF in the spring, play a semester there, and you have a good spring, then you can transfer to Florida State, where it used to be that kids you couldn't transfer and play right away. Division I to Division I, or that sort of thing. So it is affecting us, and it changes year to year. So about the time we've got it a grasp on it, they change the rules again, and we learn how to do it all over again. So but it is affecting. I truly never thought I would see the day where junior college teams were offering NIL money to student athletes, but it's here.
How about the transfer portal? How do you work that, and where do you see kids? Do you have to follow it? Do you have to get extra personnel or spend extra time on it? Do you get any transfer portal kids?
Yeah, we do a little bit. I mean, obviously the portal is for the NCAA schools, but we're able to kind of find out who's in there and that sort of thing. I think where that's changed a little bit is that, again, if, sometimes, a kid may decide, hey, I'm not going to get a lot of innings at, say, Clemson. Well, in the past, they would have gone to junior college, played, and moved on. Well, now it may be that a smaller Division I says, hey, you can come here in the spring. You're not going to be on the roster, but then you'll be on the roster next year. And so I think that's changed where junior college used to get all of those guys. Now some of those guys are going and they're transferring to another Division I program. They're working out, they're in classes, and then they're on the roster the following year. So
How about high school? How about high school, Coach? Has it opened up this? I know high schools, because of the transfer portal and NIL, the second string or first string in a small D1 goes up to the big boys and gets money and plays, and that takes away maybe a high school kid scholarship because there's so much transferring going on. They're always looking to fill spots rather from kids that are experienced or they got more film on than the high school kid that it takes to develop. Does that open up more high school opportunities for junior colleges to sign them?
Not initially, at least not right now, because there's the trickle down effect. Let's say Alabama takes Troy's, best pitcher on the mound. Well, Troy's going to either have to come to a junior college or take that high school guy that maybe Alabama would have signed, but they don't now because they, so there's a little bit of a trickle down effect, and it kind of ebbs and flows. I think maybe, if we give it a year or two, the thing that will benefit all of us the most is going to probably be the roster limitations. It used to be that, University of Tennessee had 50, 60 guys on their roster for baseball. They'd travel 30 or whatever it was, but now, if memory serves me correct, NCAA is limiting the roster size to 34, and so when you start the fall, you got to have 34, and that will push some guys to some mid majors, lower level Division I, Division II, and junior college, I think.
Wow, but they are up in the scholarship limits for most sports in Division I.
They are. Yeah, they are. It's up to the individual institution to fund those. So while they may allow 34 full scholarships for baseball, if Jacksonville University doesn't want to fund all 34, because to this point they've been funding 11.7. So you gotta you gotta carry a much heavier load if you're going to fund 34. So I think you'll see that those Power 4 schools probably all move to funding full scholarships, but I don't know how that'll affect the mid majors or the lower Division I schools.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Let's skip back to basketball, Coach. Penny's team is 11-4. Unfortunately, Chipola is 12-0. Gulf Coast is 12-1, and Northwest Florida State is 12-1. Wow, that's brutal. That's brutal. And when does conference play start there? In January?
Yeah. January they'll start up same time as the men, and they're playing good basketball. But like you said, I mean, anytime you look up with any of our sports, really, that Panhandle Conference schedule, oh yeah, hey, you're 11-4, you're having a nice season right now. Well, you got 3 teams ahead of you that are 12-2, 13-1, and it's like, man. You gotta get hot at the right time, catch somebody, on an off night and see if you can hang around till the end.
How cool was it for Coach Pete Penna to win a championship last year? That was pretty cool.
It was incredible.
Yes.
I really think he's one of the best coaches that there is, in junior college. Doesn't have the resources that a lot of other top tier programs have, and to see them get into the state tournament. The format was that there was a play-in game. Our fourth place team in the Panhandle would play the other school's sixth place team, for the last spot in our state tournament. So we go and I believe, if I remember correctly, we played St. Pete maybe. We win that play-in game, get into the tournament. They get hot, win 3 in a row, and win the state championship. So that was a special moment, and really, something that stands out to me. I was there for it. And I get more nervous watching our other teams play than I do baseball. I think because, baseball, I know I've got really no control over the game. The hay's in the barn when we throw the first pitch, so to speak. But I'm watching our other teams play, volleyball, softball, women's basketball, soccer, whatever. And I'm more nervous because I don't know what I don't know, when they're playing. Right. And we match up with Gulf Coast, who was very, very good, very well coached. And, we were able to hold them off at the end. And a really, really cool moment, I was down on the floor, was seeing Pete and Brenda, just an embrace, and both of them teared up, started crying, and it was cool because you knew that obviously Brenda knows what it takes to win a championship, and
Yes.
all the years that she did it, all the times Pete probably came home frustrated and she had to listen to it, and it was the culmination of just a really cool moment there at the end. So it was really, really special for them to do what they did.
Bryan, you say you didn't have any control over your team, but you're probably less nervous coaching because you feel like you have some control over it. Some control over what's going on.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe it's just doing it, in baseball long enough to know, hey, some days that guy's going to go out and he's going to strike out 14 and there's not anything we can do about it. And some days we're going to get that big hit and there's not anything they can do about it. It just is the art of the game, I guess. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to sit in those dugouts or, and be around the guys and watch them play the game and grow and develop.
Yeah. When we played, I mean, I don't ever remember getting nervous playing because we felt like we had control over our own destiny. Coaching, I was really nervous because I didn't have much control over it. Exactly. And now I'm just watching it and I'm back to not being nervous again. But I miss coaching for sure. Your dad, man.
You froze up on me for a second. I can't hear you right now.
Especially, you got to play for the great manager Tommy Lasorda. Talk about your dad's influence on you. How he still you call him for advice, and maybe he still tells stories that you haven't heard before that you could use or laugh at.
Oh man, he's got a ton of stories I probably haven't heard, but the ones I have heard, I've heard a lot. You hear him over and over again, but no, he's obviously been a tremendous influence on me. growing up around the game. I kind of use the analogy, if my dad would have been an auto mechanic, I would have known my way around a car. Well, he happened to be a baseball coach, and just growing up, sitting in the dugouts, in the locker rooms, being on the field, there were things that I didn't know that I was learning that I did, and it wasn't until I started coaching that, all of a sudden some things just kind of made sense, and you do them, and you put them into practice and that sort of thing. And so it's been awesome. Me and my brother talk about the childhood that we had growing up was just unbelievable. And you wish you could have really recognized what you had as a kid, but it's not till you become an adult that you understand how special it was. But even now, having him that I can call, and he comes out to a lot of the games, most of the practices, and he'll drop some knowledge on us from time to time. But really, honestly, one of the biggest things is just getting the frustration that comes along with it. You spend a lot of time working on things, and they go out and do it, and they're not successful or whatever. And then he'll go, hey, let's watch this big league game tonight. And they make the same mistake, or, and so having somebody that did it at the highest level that can go, hey, I get it. You're frustrated, but it happens. It's part of the game. And it's a long season. You got to move on and try to correct it on the back end or whatever. And then just, I think probably one of the things that gets lost, especially in today's game, probably with all sports, but just how simple the good coaches really make things. I've seen baseball become way more complicated than it needs to be.
Yes.
We got algorithms and formulas for everything, and it really comes down to, you gotta command the fastball on the mound. You gotta hit the fastball at the plate, and you gotta be able to play catch defensively. And if you can't do those things, nothing else really comes into play. So,
yeah, good point, Bryan. Both good points, man. About your dad being there in the tough times as well as the good times, and then just going back to fundamentals. I was telling the story on this show a week ago about how you can try to do too much with these kids, and they get paralysis by analysis instead of just going back to the fundamentals and basics. That's what wins games. It doesn't matter what sport. Awesome. Talk a little bit about your roster, your kids, your season coming up. I know you got a variety of kids from all over, which I really like. You even got one from Canada. You have a couple local kids, though. Talk about them and your roster, Bryan.
Yeah. We always want to try to keep the local kids home if they want to stay home, and not all of them do. A lot of them want to get out there and spread their wings a little bit, but baseball in this area is so good most years that you should always have a couple good players from the area if they want to stay home, and we certainly do this year. We've got a couple Catholic kids, couple Pace, Escambia, Choctaw. So we've got some local guys. Then we have some guys from different parts of the country. We return a decent amount from last year's team. Who we were really, really good at the end of the season. We weren't so good at the beginning, but we were really good at the end. If we can pick up where we left off with our returning guys, I think we'll be fine. But then the name of the game, as always, is how we going to be on the mound. If we can throw strikes and compete on the mound, we'll be fine. If we've got to figure out other ways to win, I think we've got a chance to score some runs offensively, but just figuring out how many we're going to have to score is going to kind of be, day to day for us. So,
would you average 6-7 runs a game last year or something?
Yeah, something like that. If we can do, if we're doing the same thing this year, I think we'll be fine. If we're having to score 8 or 9, we might have our hands full, but
Yeah.
so, but we got a good group of kids. I like them. I enjoy being around them. Some of our new guys, our freshmen, are still learning what it takes to play at this level. I think a lot of kids, come to junior college and they think, well, I played with, guys in travel ball that are at the Division I level. So this junior college thing will be a piece of cake. And, I don't think they realize until they get in it how good it really, really is. Try to catch them up to speed as best we can and rock and roll from there.
Your assistant coach, Chase Kessinger, a Memphis pitcher, Drew Frederick in his 3rd season for you. Great Troy player. Matter of fact, I think he still has some school records and runs, hits, doubles, at bats, games played, everything. Talk about your assistant coaches and Chase. Is this Chase's first year and he's going to help you with the pitchers?
Yeah. So, this is actually Chase's 2nd season, going into his second season. He was with us last year. Drew Frederick actually left, got out of baseball. He took a job as a medical sales rep.
Oh, wow.
Which he'll absolutely crush it. He was fantastic for us. Great coach, great recruiter. But he came in one day at the end of the year last year and he said, "Hey, I think I want to make money and have some free time." And I said, "Well, if those two things are what you want to do, then coaching is not it, especially at this level." But no, Freddie was great for us. He was a great player at Troy and did an awesome job and was a massive part of the success that we've had. So, Chase has kind of stepped up doing some recruiting in Freddie's absence. And then I hired two new guys, Jackson Jarvis and Bryce Ritchie. Chase is Memphis pitcher, son of Keith Kessinger, who played in the big leagues. And then Don Kessinger is actually his grandfather, who spent a long time in the big leagues with the Cubs and actually managed. So they're kind of let's see, Don, I believe when he got done, went back and coached at Ole Miss for a long time, and their family is still in Oxford. So they're kind of Oxford royalty, I think, if I'm not misunderstood. And Chase having a baseball background, being the son of a former player is always nice. And then Jackson Jarvis, his dad is a longtime coach at Belmont in Nashville. So got a good group of coaches, man. Young guys that are eager and want to get out there and do it. So they've been a big help to me. So it's been awesome to have them.
What a bunch of baseball knowledge from your assistants and their families.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah. That's good stuff. All right, last question. Winter ball starts January 23rd, and then you guys have a pretty busy winter. What are you guys going to look for during winter ball?
Yeah, we're going to try to, probably take that first month of figuring out, where everybody fits and try to figure out a pitching rotation to get ready as we go into conference play, that sort of thing. The good thing is, we play a lot January, February. So we'll get a lot of different guys looks on the mound and that sort of thing, to try to figure it out as we go. Gonna try to go out there and play and see what we got and try to line it up, rolling into conference.
Coach, who do you like in the college football playoff?
Oh man. If I could draw it up, and I know who's in, but I don't remember the bracket off the top of my head. It would be really cool to see, like, Ole Miss and Texas Tech in a national championship game. I love the big schools. Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma. They're all great. But I'd love to see somebody fresh in there, man. A program that you haven't seen in there. But that being said, it'll probably end up being Georgia and Ohio State or something like that.
That's what Hobbs thinks. But I got a different view. I think it could be a Texas Tech or Indiana and eventually win one of these titles because of the landscape of this.
Yeah,
we're not going to have Bama or any school for that matter is not going to have a national title coach that carries 6 to 7 titles no more. It's not that's gone. The dynasty like that is gone.
Yeah,
sure.
No, you're right. And let me change my pick. I'm going to go with Indiana. I was drawing a blank when you asked me, but I love watching them play, and Signetti does a great job. I watched it, as a coach. I watched an interview with him one time, and somebody asked him about, kind of bringing some guys from James Madison to Indiana, and a lot of people had forgotten that Indiana even had a football team anymore, and and they were asking him about the success and what he's done, and he goes, it's not really that difficult. You got to block, you got to tackle, and you got to do your job. And he said, I can do that with a bunch of 3-star, 2-star, 3-star guys. If they can tackle and block, we can win football games. And I thought, man, that's awesome. And then watch it. Their quarterback is so fun to watch, and seeing him win the Heisman. So I'm pulling for them. Hope they can make a run and win it, because what would everybody think? Hey, 2025, Indiana playing for a national championship in football.
That just goes to show you how important coaching is, man. He's got all 2- and 3-star guys. Bama doesn't have any 2-star and maybe 1 or 2 3-stars. That's it.
Yeah.
They got all 4 and 5 stars. So coaching makes a huge difference. He learned under Saban for 4 years. He's a no-nonsense guy. You can just tell by looking at him. And that's usually the guys that win, no-nonsense guys. All right. Thanks, Bri. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Bryan Lewallyn, athletic director, head baseball coach at Pensacola State College. Good luck this year, Bri. We'll see you soon, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
See ya. Wow. Brian's always fun to have on. Knowledgeable, great coach, man. A lot of knowledge. Yeah, good stuff.
A lot of good things going on at PSC.
Yeah, Pensacola State, one of your old schools.
I like that. I like that, especially when we win in basketball over there. That's really special. And Brian, that run they had in football, baseball, that little while ago, that was
conference. All 5 teams in the top 25 in the country. Right here at Pensacola State. Go by and support your Pensacola State Pirates. Go out and watch a hoops game, men or women. A lot of sports going on. Thanks for watching the local sports report. For Coach Tripp and Coach Hobbs, have a great sports week, everybody. So long.
Peace.
Peace out. All right, here we go.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
When it comes to buggies and golf carts, nobody does it like Buggy Works. Hi, I'm JP Wibbs. We've got the largest selection of golf carts on the Gulf Coast. We have a brand new 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art service center and showroom to keep you rolling. We're right here in the heart of Car City at 5831 Pensacola Boulevard. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3. Check us out at buggyworks.com. Buggy Works. Come by and see why we're the #1 Denago dealer in the nation.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.